Most people think you need a factory to get into the food business. That is completely wrong, and the people making money from peanut butter in local markets already know it. A peanut butter machine is a compact grinding machine that takes raw peanuts and turns them into smooth, creamy, ready-to-sell peanut butter. You feed the peanuts in, the machine grinds them down, and what comes out the other side is a finished food product that people buy every single week. No complicated process, no long list of ingredients, no special training required, just peanuts going in and profit coming out. This is one of the most accessible entry points into food processing because the raw material is cheap. The product is familiar, and the demand for it does not slow down based on the economy or the season. People eat peanut butter when times are good, and they eat it when times are tight because it is filling, affordable, and versatile. That combination is exactly what you want when you are building a product business from the ground up. Let us go through the full picture of how this machine turns into a real income. The first thing to understand is what your raw material actually costs versus what your finished product sells for. Peanuts are one of the most affordable crops available in warm-growing regions across Africa, Asia, and Latin America. In most markets, you can source a kilogram of raw peanuts at a fraction of what a kilogram of processed peanut butter sells for on a store shelf or at a local market stall. That gap between input cost and selling price is your margin, and with a peanut butter machine, that margin is wide from the very first batch you produce. You are not competing with large manufacturers on volume. You are competing on freshness, locality, and price, and on all three of those fronts, a small operator with a dedicated machine can win consistently. Now let us talk about where this product actually goes. Peanut butter is not a niche item, it is a staple. Families buy it for breakfast spreads, schools and feeding programs buy it in bulk for meals, bakeries use it as an ingredient in pastries and cookies, street food vendors use it as a base for sauces and dips, health-conscious buyers look for natural peanut butter without additives and are willing to pay more for it. What this means for you is that your customer base is not one type of buyer. It is several, and each of them has a different volume and frequency of purchase. A household buys a jar every couple of weeks. A bakery might order 5 to 10 kilograms every few days. A school feeding program might need a bulk supply every month. Once you identify which buyers are in your area, you can structure your production around them and build consistent recurring orders. The next section of this business is packaging and presentation, and this matters more than most people think when they are starting out. Peanut butter sold in a clean labeled container with a clear weight and a simple brand name sells for more than the same product scooped into a plain bag. You do not need expensive packaging to start. A basic sealable plastic container or a reused glass jar with a printed label is enough to make your product look intentional and trustworthy. As your sales grow, you upgrade your packaging. But the point is that the machine does the hard work, and even a basic presentation puts you in a position to charge a fair price and build a recognizable product in your local market. Let us also talk about what it costs to run this machine day to day. The energy consumption of a peanut butter grinding machine is low. Most small to mid-range models run on a standard power outlet and do not require industrial electrical setup. The maintenance is simple because the machine has few moving parts. The main component is the grinding disc or stone, which you clean regularly and replace occasionally depending on how much you produce. There is no complicated machinery to service, no specialized technician to call, and no long list of consumables to reorder every week. Your ongoing costs are peanuts, electricity, containers, and your time. That is a very manageable cost structure for a first-time food business owner. One thing that makes this business particularly strong is the flexibility in what you produce. A peanut butter machine does not lock you into one product. You can grind plain peanut butter for everyday buyers. You can add a small amount of salt or honey to create a premium version that sells at a higher price point. You can produce a coarser grind for buyers who want a chunky texture and a smoother grind for those who prefer a spreadable consistency. Some operators use the same machine to process other nuts and seeds like sesame, which produces tahini, another high-value food product with strong demand in certain markets. The machine gives you a production capability that you can adapt based on what your local buyers are asking for, and that adaptability is what keeps the business relevant over time. Who can actually start this business is a question with a wide answer. If you have access to raw peanuts, a power supply, and a location where you can process and sell food, you can run this operation. It works out of a home kitchen for someone starting small. It works in a market stall setup where you grind fresh to order in front of customers, which also works as its own form of marketing because the smell alone pulls people in. It works as a supply operation where you produce in batches and distribute to shops, canteens, and food vendors in your area. The barrier to entry is low, the learning curve is short, and the product sells itself because it is something people already know and already want. Here is the bottom line on this machine. You are not trying to invent a new food category. You are not trying to convince anyone that peanut butter is worth buying. That work was done a long time ago. What you are doing is stepping into a market with existing demand and becoming the local source for a product people already reach for. The machine makes that possible without a large investment, without a complex operation, and without years of experience in food manufacturing. Peanuts are cheap. Peanut butter is not. The machine is the only thing that changes one into the other, and right now, most people in your area are buying their peanut butter from someone else. There is no reason that someone cannot be you.